And we'll probably take maybe 10 minutes or so to do that, and then we'll wrap this up. Okay. Now, I believe Batman in Concrete here is where I left off last time. I assume, I don't know if you guys know it, but this is a blog that I don't know the guy's name, but he has this blog where he creates these fictional covers for stories that were never published. Let me go up top here. So, as he puts it, Super Team Family, The Lost Issues, the greatest team ups that never happened but should have. And he creates these covers for fictional team ups with superheroes. And again, I think I left off with Batman and Concrete here. So we'll go to the next one. And this one's got Batman and Jon Stewart. And this Jon Stewart image, I'm not sure where that's but the Batman image, that's from that dark multiverse. It's one of these dark evil versions of Batman. I was never into this stuff myself. I forget, Dawnbreaker, I think, is this character's name. He's basically evil Batman as a Green Lantern. Again, not something I'm really a big fan of myself. Got Batman and Doc Samson. So Doc Samson's kind of a supporting character from the Hulk. Doc Samson he was a psychiatrist, and he got exposed to gamma radiation, and he became big and strong. He didn't get green skin; he just got green hair. And let's see, I don't know, I don't recognize these images, so I don't know what covers these are from. Then we got Batman and Guardians of the Galaxy. So, and this is the comic book, like the original version of the Guardians, not the one from the movies. So the original Guardians of the Galaxy was first presented in the comics in, like, I think the very late 60s. Lord Thaw says looks like a GLA mosaic artwork for Stewart. That might be. Yeah, that might be for Mosaic. I'd completely forgotten about that book. Okay, so but yeah, they were first presented in the late 60s, and they only had a couple of sparse appearances through the 70s. And really, originally, they were basically a Marvel version of the Legion of Superheroes. They were a bunch of superheroes fighting in 1,000 years in the future, and they came from a bunch of different worlds, basically the same setup as the Legion. But then in the 2000s, they did this big crossover called Annihilation. And in that, they introduced this sort of present day version of the Guardians. And then that version is what became the basis for the movies. Long live the Legion. Yes, absolutely. So this is a Guardians of the Galaxy cover here on Priest Think that's got this Batman image photoshopped in. And this is this isn't Batman. This is actually Professor Hugo Strange, one of Batman's enemies, who's in his Batman suit, because his shtick is he knows who Bruce Wayne is, so he's constantly trying to kill Bruce Wayne and replace him. Then Batman and Animal Man, and this is the Animal Man from the Grant Morrison run back in the 80s. I love that title, Mean Piece. I don't know where this Batman cover is from though. And Fiona says, or actually, no, Foss says, I admit I prefer the original Guardians. I do myself, kind of. My guess is that it's probably one of those things where it's kind of which version did you see first, you know? And Fiona Wolf says, oh, yeah, that was one of the few things besides the Nova comics that I actually read from Marvel, since I like the space opera aspect. The Talking Dog, Cosmo, yeah, yeah. I don't know if you've seen it. I haven't watched it yet. I mean, I'm not going to. I don't have Disney Plus, but I've seen some scenes from that Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, and apparently Cosmo is in that and has lines. Actually, is able to talk. Okay, Batman and Aqualad. Now, this cover is from an issue of Aquaman, and this is actually it was from a pivotal issue too. This is from the issue, and I don't remember the exact number. I should, because I have it. But this is the issue where Aquaman's son died. And in the original art, Aquaman is the one who's down here. and seems to about to be killed because in the comic, Black Manta basically takes uh, Aquaman's son hostage, and then he takes Aquagirl hostage as well, I believe, and basically forces Aquaman and Aqualad to fight each other to the death. All right, so Batman, Hawk and Dove. Fiona Wolf says, I was with Richard, who cares about the Civil War. We got a universe ending battle going on out here, right? Yeah, so that whole annihilation thing was going on during the Civil War storyline, which I am not a fan of. The only other bit I remember liking from Marvel was the X-Men animated series. A lot of people like it. Very popular. Fiona Wolf, that's the later versions of Hawk and Dove. Yeah, yeah. So Hawk and Dove originally, Dove was male. Hawk and Dove are twins, or were originally twins. But then the original Dove was killed during Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then shortly after they introduced this female one. And these characters, they were on that Titan show. I watched a few episodes of that Titan show, but I just didn't like it. I didn't like the way they handled the characters. I thought it was, it's like you say, Fiona Wolf. I mean, it was too dark. It was too graphic. It just kind of mean spirited, really. And I just wasn't a fan of it. Lord Thoth says, great show, classic. Thank you, Lord Thoth. Appreciate it. Okay, let's move on. Batman and Catwoman. And I'm trying to remember because I recognize this cover art, but I don't remember what it's from. I think it was I think it was some kind of a one shot, not from a monthly comic. And this is because this is kind of like the golden age or silver age versions of Batman and Catwoman here, and then these were the modern versions. And it's Brian Boland is the artist. It's really good art. Let me bring that up a little. Yeah, that's Brian Boland's art. Really nice. But yeah, but I don't remember the specific issue this was originally from. Really nice though. All right. So I guess I'll go ahead and wrap it up there, guys. Again, and I'll probably stream again at this time next week, and probably will include some of this blog again as well. So Thought says Titans has been okay. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They just honestly, they kind of lost me when they had Nightwing like maiming people and like breaking people's necks and saying F Batman. I was just like, what is this? Fiona Wolf, the biggest arcs I remember from the X-Men show was Professor X falling for that alien lady, Lalandra, the Empress of the Shi'ar, Lalandra, and the Dark Phoenix storyline. All right, so the opening episodes were not very good. Yeah, maybe they got better. I actually thought that they did Hawk really well. Alan Ritchson, the guy who does Reacher now, I thought they actually did Hawk very spot on. He was just, his costume was good and he was written pretty well. But I don't know, most of the characters, I wasn't that crazy about how they were written. I think honestly, they would have been better served, Thoth, if they had just done a Nightwing show. I think that would have been good because I don't think they had the budget to do a really good Titan show, to be honest. It's kind of like I would compare it in a way to that Inhuman series. That Inhuman series was not very good, but part of it was because they clearly didn't have the budget to do an Inhuman show properly. So they had to do all these shortcuts, like Medusa gets her hair cut off so they don't have to worry about CGIing her hair. And I just didn't think they really had the budget to do a Titan show the way it should really be done. And I think they would have been better served. A Nightwing show with him on his own, I could deal with it being a little darker. I think that might have worked better. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up, guys. And again, thank you to all of you for showing up. I'll go ahead and close that now, and I will see you next time.